Women who choose to enter into relationships with serial killers is known as hybristophilia. It defies conventional understanding. Their motivations vary, ranging from a fascination with danger to a desire for control or a belief in the innocence of their partners. These women often find themselves scrutinized by society, labeled as misguided or psychologically disturbed. Here we have Ted Bundy, one of the most infamous serial killers in American history. His charming demeanor and intelligence masked a dark and depraved personality. He would eventually be sentenced to death for unaliving several young women. This is Carol Ann Boone. She was a former co-worker of Ted Bundy's. She actually maintained a romantic relationship with him throughout the trial for his multiple murders. She would eventually marry him and have his daughter. This is Richard Ramirez. He's infamously known as the Night Stalker. He was a serial killer who terrorized California back in the 1980s. Back in 1984, when he started a series of brutal home invasions, rape, you know what I mean, and unaliving across Los Angeles and San Francisco. Ramirez, his method was characterized by his savage attacks on individuals, and he did not discriminate. He ranged from children all the way up to the elderly. This is Doreen Leroy. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. Despite Ramirez's all of the grapes and the unalivings and the brutal beatings, she didn't care. She would actually marry him in 1996. Here's Oscar Ray Bolin. He's also an American serial killer who operated in Florida back in the 1980s. Bolin was convicted of unaliving three young women. His method would be to abduct the women and rape them and then eventually unaliving them. He actually was executed by lethal injection back in 2016. This is Rosalie Martinez. This one's kind of surprising. She actually was married to an attorney, come from a wealthy, prominent family. Anyway, she was a paralegal who actually worked on Boland's case. Then over time, she said she fell in love with him. She would ultimately go on to marry him. So this one was kind of shocking, but she married him in 96. And of course, again, he was executed in 2016.